Now, this is college football game night.
Welcome into college football game night here in Western Oregon, where it has been a very, very long day for Duck fans and any other local fans in the area that worked up the courage to wake up early this morning for college game day in Eugene. I'm Brett Taylor. A matchup 21 years in the making at Autzen Stadium between number 7 Indiana and number 3 Oregon did not disappoint, as two of the very best teams in the Big Ten Conference met in a clash in the Pacific Northwest. First quarter, the theme, a battle of attrition. Ducks going in for it on 4th and short, and the Hoosiers defense stout. Jordan Davison stuffed in the backfield. Oregon turns it over on downs. Indiana gets a field goal on the ensuing drive, but watch Dante Moore respond, moving in the pocket and connecting with his man Malik Benson down the center of the field, wide open for days, and the Ducks respond exactly how they needed to. Can the Hoosiers do their same? Fernando Mendoza, yes, he can. 14 yards on the quarterback keeper, down to the 3-yard line. He goes and sets up Roman Hemby perfectly for the easy 3-yard power rush into the end zone. Indiana retakes the lead and would keep it as the Ducks and the Hoosiers trade field goals in the second quarter to end the first half, pushing the Ducks into the trailing slot for the first time this season after 2 quarters. The score at the half, 13-10. Both programs doing a very good job limiting the explosive plays for the most. Dante Moore, 11 of 17, 123 yards, and the lone touchdown. But the big question marks that we saw in this first half, 2 of 8 on third down and 3 sacks allowed from the Oregon offensive line. An absolute drive killer for the Ducks in the first half. Oregon had only allowed 1 sack all season up until this point. That had to change in the final 2 quarters. So can the Ducks respond? They kick a field goal midway through the third quarter to tie the game, but field goals only go so far. First and goal for the Hoosiers. It's who else but Hemby. Up the gut he goes, and still standing strong as he passes the goal line. Oregon now finding itself desperate for answers as the offense continues to sputter in the second half. The Ducks would punt this ball away, but then on the ensuing Hoosiers drive, the magic still alive for the defense. Brandon Finney Jr., the freshman, with his first pick 6 of his collegiate career, ties this game back at 20 a pop. Oregon is not dead, but neither are the Hoosiers. Mendoza to the left pylon connects with Elijah Sarrett, capping off a 12-play, 75-yard drive. And the Hoosiers are back in business and stay in the driver's seat as they would pick up more 2 more times in the final minutes to end regulation and steal this win here at Autzen Stadium and hand the Ducks their first loss in the last several years at home.
Certainly a disappointing result, but we didn't play well enough to go win that game, and Indiana certainly did. They did a great job in this game. They had a great plan. They were able to create pressure throughout, and we struggled on third down, struggled to protect the quarterback. Ultimately, they were more prepared for us in this moment. I don't think there was any letdown from our players. Our crowd was outstanding, created some penalties and some opportunities for us, but ultimately we shot ourselves in the foot.
Talk about a night and day difference in the second half, to say the least. The difference maker in this game is the Ducks were outclassed in the third and fourth quarters, outgained by nearly 100 yards alone in the fourth, and the 2 picks by Dante Moore late in the game. Daggers for a team that still had a chance to win this game. Olivia Cleary joins us from Autzen Stadium to break down how the Ducks are dealing with their first taste of defeat this season.
21 years later, history repeats itself here at Autzen Stadium. Back in 2004, when the Ducks and Hoosiers met for the very first time, self-inflicted wounds cost the Ducks an upset loss. This time around, the story felt very similar. Costly turnovers and penalties proved to be the difference as the Hoosiers once again came out the better team.
Ultimately, we shot ourselves in the foot and had several penalties ourselves, which has been a little bit uncharacteristic for us. So can't play behind the chains on offense. We had a hard time generating success, and anytime we did, we kind of hurt ourselves.
I feel like overall Indiana's a great team, great coaching staff, great players. They had a great scheme, a lot of different concepts they run on defense, but overall I feel like we beat ourselves when it comes to penalties.
Oregon finished with 7 penalties for 64 yards and 2 turnovers, both interceptions from Dante Moore. Indiana had 1 more penalty than Oregon, but gave up fewer yards with 45. The difference? The Hoosiers didn't let those mistakes define the game. Those self-inflicted errors made the difference, and in the end, Oregon couldn't overcome them. Now the Ducks turn their focus to getting better and improving as they look ahead to their next challenge.
Yeah, adversity is real, right? You're going to face it at some point in your career. It's about how you respond to it, right? We didn't have our fastball today. They did a great job. In this game, everybody wants to look at players and say, "Oh, well, this is the reason." That was a team effort, right? And that was a team loss, right? And their team played better than us. It wasn't Dante. It was the whole group. Is the coaching staff, is the players. So ultimately, Dante's going to look at this as an opportunity to learn from it as well. We'll grow from it and get better.
Obviously, no one's happy about losing that game. We got something to prove, got a chip on our shoulder, and we can use it as fuel or, be down on ourselves. So, we'll go to the doctor tomorrow, learn from it, and then back to work. We don't worry about the outside narrative. It's all within our locker room, within our team. So we just work hard and on to the next opponent.
After a tough loss at home, Oregon turns the page and heads east to take on Rutgers on Saturday. Reporting from Autzen Stadium, I'm Olivia Cleary.
So Oregon will now take a little bit of time to, of course, try to rest up and get better, but they're going to also need a little bit of help if they want to get back to the Big Ten championship following Saturday's loss, as Ohio State and Indiana now find themselves in the driver's seat. All right, let's kind of switch gears now on over to Corvallis with a historically awful 0-6 start to the season. Oregon State football, after 6 weeks of play, decided to make some change earlier this week, firing the team special teams coordinator in the hopes that some of the issues plaguing this team could finally be fixed. Let's find out if they did, though. Oregon State back at Reser Stadium, welcoming in the Demon Deacons from Wake Forest. First quarter, not the start the Beavers were hoping for, as Deshaun Purdy finds Chris Barnes for the 36-yard strike. OSU already down early and needing the special teams unit to respond, and it's another blocked field goal. The third one of the season, and at this point, it's happening nearly every single game. The Deacons taking full advantage of the situation. Purdy to Micah Mays Jr., 52 yards into the end zone. I mean, just look how easy that looked. Like hot knife slicing through butter. Oregon State's defense and the offense crumbling right before our eyes, and the turnovers certainly not going to help the situation as well. Wake Forest takes on over and immediately scores with ease. What is happening at Oregon State, folks? A season filled with so much hope is continuing to spiral out of control right in front of our eyes as the Beavers fall to 0-7 on the year, marking the program's worst start to a season in 24 years. Plus, from blowouts to blown games, it's been tough sledding in the land of the Beavers. If you guys were able to hear that, that was head coach Trent Bray expressing his frustrations. It was a 6-second response followed by 6 seconds of silence from the head coach. Look, it's no secret that this is not how anyone envisioned this season to go. Coach Bray is obviously and visibly very frustrated by the constant repetition of mistakes that keep costing this team chances to win and continue to spiral this season out of control. Reporter Israel LaRue has the full breakdown from Reser Stadium on where this team can go from here following just the 5th time the program has started 0-7 to begin a season.
The Oregon State Beavers are almost breaking records, but not the way you'd think. After losing yet another game due to self-inflicted mistakes, the Beavers find themselves in dangerous territory where the losses may not stop, as they're 0-7 to start the season for the 5th time in program history.
We didn't start fast. It's the second straight week that we just buried ourselves early in the game with things we can control. And we got to get that fixed as a coaching staff. And myself, starting with me, I got to get that fixed.
You could say it was a slow start all across the board for Oregon State football during Saturday's loss to Wake Forest. From the offense to special teams, heck, even the defense, nothing was working. From the several explosive plays allowed to multiple miscues throughout 4 quarters. The answers in Corvallis on how to fix the season continue to elude the Beavers.
It's little things, man. The little things that shouldn't happen, Like we know our job, we know how to execute it, but sometimes, we are too much in our head, and some things go south. So we just gotta play the game that we know how to play and stop getting so nervous and rattled and things like that, and just go play football.
But it wasn't just the defense not executing the little things right. Offensive mistakes were prevalent all over the turf. From multiple turnovers killing promising drives to flags putting the offense in long down situations, the offense once again became one-dimensional.
Honestly, I feel like it's different people getting in the game too that haven't been in practice with each other. So I feel like that's kind of miscue a little bit too. But it is unacceptable, and we're all just still working on it. We got to keep working.
And for the Beavers special team unit, disaster continues to strike, even after firing special teams coach Jamie Christensen earlier this week. With blocked field goals to mistakes on punt returns and even giving Wake Forest favorable field positions to start their drives. Yet despite the continued issues week in and week out, these Beaver players are not giving up on each other.
Just being able to go out there with these guys and just enjoy the fact that this might be the last time that all of us are together, you know. We just got to do it for each other, man. Like, I love these guys, so, it sucks not coming out with the win or just, it just sucks.
Oregon State will continue to remain at home over the next couple weeks with the hope that at some point this team will find some answers. But if they don't, the struggles will only continue. Reporting inside Reser Stadium, I'm Israel LaRue.
So again, you can tell from what you just witnessed on your screen, again, the sting of defeat really kind of impacting Oregon State staff, from the players to the coaching staff as well. The Beavers seemingly fighting every single game to try to get one of these wins under their belt, but it seems like every time they try, something ends up going wrong. Of course, the Beavers still have a couple more games left to try to get in the winners column, but the road to try and go and get that doesn't get any easier for the Beavers moving forward. Now, coming up, Southern Oregon football finds itself back on the road looking to snap its 4-game losing streak against a team that they already beat at the start of the season. Can the Raiders get the job done? Find out next.